So before we start this video, I just wanted to mention, please like, subscribe, and share if you do enjoy my videos, as it really does help out the channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to make sure that you get the new uploads when they come out.
Alright everybody, today I want to go over a software that I think will be really beneficial to everybody, especially if you are doing Dodge ECU programming. I want to be very specific with that. This will greatly aid you in programming Dodge ECUs and be a lot cheaper than actually going through Mopar's website and using the J2534 services that they have. So the software I'm going to be talking about today is ECU Hero. I fell upon this probably about 2 years ago, and I have used it. I just haven't been able to make any videos onto it. But today I want to actually make that video because I said I would in the past. So now ECU Hero is a software that allows you to go in and reprogram VINs, mileage, and also calibration files into a Dodge ECU. What's nice about ECU Hero is that it will also allow you to go in and clone or even renew an ECU, which I'm going to be showing that in this video. Alright, so before we get started with ECU Hero though, there is a tool that you are going to have to purchase. There is no shortcut, you need this tool. Alright, so that tool is going to be on OBDX Pro. Alright, now you can come on here, you can create an account, and you have to purchase it. Now I went through this earlier just to see, and every single one of these are actually on back order, so you can't even buy them right now. So it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So it's a good thing for them, but a bad thing for us. All right, so I'm just going to go back one screen real quick. Now, as you see here, we have the GT, the FT, and the VX. So the GT is going to be more towards GM programming. The FT is going to be more towards Ford programming, and the VX is going to be more of a versatile one. All right, now if we scroll down, what we will see, actually, sorry, we're going to click on this, we're going to scroll down, and it's just going to give you the protocols that the tools can do. So if we go with the GT, you're going to see that it's going to be more based towards GM programming. If we go with the Ford, it's going to be based more towards the Ford programming. All right, and if we go with the OBDX Pro VX, you're going to see that it basically does the exact same thing as the other ones, except for it won't do like GM land. All right, it won't do anything for Ford, obviously. And then we have Holden GM diagnostics that the OBDX Pro GT does do. They all support J2534, so you can use this for actual programming. And as you can tell right here, the DPDU TechWin 2, it does support with the GT, or it is supported with the GT, as I should say. Now, the reason that I took the GT is that I find myself doing more GM vehicles than actually doing Ford vehicles. I have other tools that can do Ford. I have ForScan that works great with my my J25 Hotel. The OBDX Pro GT, which is this one right here, also works very well with the ForScan. So just be aware that you cannot use this ECU Hero without actually getting one of these tools. All right, unless there's a walk around that did come out, but from my knowledge, it's impossible to use ECU Hero without one of those tools. So let's get into the program. All right, then I'm gonna do a little hookup. I'm gonna show you guys using my X-Tool D8, the VIN and everything that is in this ECU before I hook everything up. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys actually how to use the software. So as I said, you have to get one of these in order, or one of the OBDX Pro tools in order to be able to use ECU Hero. All right, so sorry, my cat was meowing. I had to go deal with her, and I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm pretty sure that we were on getting to the actual program. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to load up the program for everybody. And it's going to be this right here. Now, in order to download this program, Actually, I'll bring this back up. We actually have to go to that. You have to create an account. You have to purchase the tool, and then we can go to downloads, and then they're going to allow you to actually download the tool. All right. After that, you are going to have to take and download the firmware updater to make sure that your tool is actually up to date. And then after that, we're going to install the installer for ECU Hero. All right. If there are any other downloads, they will come up. There used to be a lot more on here. I have them all saved on my computer. But anyway, so we're going to go with ECU Hero software. And then from there, what you're going to see is that you have to come purchase the ECU Hero flashing software. All right. So we're going to go with the select options, and we're going to go with buy now. All right. From there, you will be able to purchase it. So you need one tool. So yes, I require an OBDX Pro FT or GT. Okay. So this one, you would take a FT. I guess that's the only one that they have there. And they will also give you 2 tokens that are going to be required in order to flash the ECUs. I'm only using one ECU to show you guys actually how to use this this software. But if you're going to be using 2 different ECUs with 2 different VINs, you need 2 tokens in order to be able to clone the ECU. All right. If you want to just take and renew the ECU, then you don't need that. But most of the time, you're going to be using this to clone an ECU. So, so as you can see, it's going to be a total of $190. Okay. In stock, can be back ordered. That's what it says right here. So if we go, I already have it, then all you're going to have is the $50 for the 2 tokens. All right. So I understand that this only works with OBDX Pro scan tools and universal ECU bench harness power supply. No, I do not require because I have my own. Or yes, I want to buy one because I don't have one. So you can actually purchase that also. Okay. So from there, we're going to have the 125 plus the 50, so $175. And if I'm not mistaken, this is in Canadian dollars, but I could be off on that. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for all this. All right. So that is how we get started. Now, what we're going to do is that we're going to minimize this again. And now, after you download everything and you create your account, you're going to come in and you are going to open up ECU Hero.
It's important to note that the ECU Hero account is also linked with the ECU Hero software.
Okay, it's going to log in automatically. And right now, it is not going to say, it is not going to basically allow anything to happen because it does not see the scan tool. As you see, it said it right there. So what I'm going to do now is just come over. So this uses a micro USB. All right. So I'm just going to come in and we're going to hook up our micro USB. All right. Now what we see here is that we have a red light and then a blue light is flashing. So we're just going to click OK. And now it's going to say connect to your scan tool. And now it's going to connect to my scan tool and it's going to see it down here. I am not connected onto anything, so we're going to see 0 volts over here. Now, the next step is to identify what type of ECU that you actually have. Now, most of us don't know. Like, I don't know Dodge ECUs, so this tool really does help you. So if we come over here and we click on pinouts, what it's going to do is that it's going to allow you to click the select type of ECU for pinout diagram. And you can just go through these and they actually give you a picture of what the ECU actually looks like. So a JPEG-2 is going to be a gray and brown connector. And as you can see on mine, all right, I have a blue and I have a green. So I have a blue and I have a green. All right. What we're going to do is that we're going to look for that. We're going to go 2A. It's not a 2A. Actually, I have a 2A here. I'll show that to you guys. JPEG-3. And the JPEG-3 is the one that would be for mine. Now, for any of you that have an Autel XP400, or IM508, the IM508 came with an adapter. All right, it was the AAC001. You can actually purchase this. All right, so I actually just made myself a small little harness. I put a 120 ohm resistor in here onto a switch. So when I click the switch, it turns it off. And when I click it one other way, it basically puts the 120 ohm resistor in. Now, the reason you need the 120 ohm resistor is because in this, there's already 120 ohm resistor, and on the CAN system, you need 220 ohm resistors connected in parallel in order for the tools to communicate properly. So I know it's a lot of talking right now, but I'm going to show you guys what this tool can do in a couple of seconds. So I'm just showing you guys a tool that you can make. You guys can also purchase one if you have the GoDiag GT100. I think that's what it was. I can't remember. But the GoDiag, you can use that onto here also. It works very, very well. It's just that you have to hook up your 120 ohm resistors across the two lines or on the banana jacks. I'm going to be using this for this this one. Now, if we see here, it's going to tell us right here that we need 120 ohm resistor between our CAN high and CAN low, which I already have onto this. Okay. So from there, we're going to see that we need 1, 2, 3 12 volts. So 1, 2, and 3. So, and it doesn't matter if it says ignition or constant. It still works with either. Okay. When you're going to have to power this down later on in order to set everything or complete the programming anyway. So that doesn't change anything for me really. Then we have our CAN high, our CAN low, and our ground. What I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to take and I'm going to connect this to my pins. So I'm going to do it on the screen with every 1, 2, 3, which is going to be my first one. And the orientation is backwards right now for you guys. That's because I have it facing me. I have 1, 2, 3 over here. Let's see if I can bring you guys down a little bit. Here we go. I'm on my third pin. Then we have one that's going to be all the way down at the bottom. Then after that, we have another one that is going to be over here, which is going to be the second one. 1, 2. And then after that, we have one ground. So we're going to put down our ground, which is right next to it. Good. And then after that, we have our CAN high and our CAN low. Now, on my wire, you're going to see I have an extra 120 ohm resistor, and that is because when I'm doing some bench programming, and the module does not have 120 ohm resistor, you have to connect 220 ohms to get 60 ohms in parallel. So it just makes it so that I can do some bench programming without actually having other modules installed. So if we count, we're going to count down 9 pins for the yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is right here. We're going to install this one. And then after that, we're going to count down 9 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now I don't know if my switch is actually switched for my CAN, but we're going to see that in a quick second. First things first though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift you guys back up real quick, is that I'm just going to connect my X tool and I'm going to hook up my power supply, and we are going to read the information that is in this ECU first, just to show you guys that the tool is actually accurate. Okay, so I don't know how well this is going to work for here, but we're going to lift you guys up a little bit higher. So I'm just going to click auto scan, and I might have to flick my switch. I can't remember. It's either going to connect or it's not. If it doesn't, we'll flick the switch. So I'm going to flick my switch since it doesn't seem to be working. And we're going to see if it can start. I might have to restart everything. If I do, as soon as I flicked it, it's going to end up connecting to it now. And it says Jeep version 11. You guys can't really see that. I don't think so. Maybe like this. There we go. Bring it up closer for everybody. It's not the greatest quality, but it's good for far. But when you start to have whites, it's not good. So we're just going to click. Here we see our VIN. So we're just going to click on this. So from there, we're going to go to System Selection, Powertrain Control Module, and we just want to read the ECU information. So right now it says what year, the ECU part number, which you guys can see AI, okay? So this is actually your calibration number that's right here. The second number that's right here tells you vehicle line, our VIN original, and our VIN current. And then after that, we have software version, hardware version, gives you a serial number, supplier Motorola. That's going to be something different onto the ECU Hero. From there, we are going to have variant ID 6B. That's going to be there. Country code Canada, and the odometer when the VIN was first written was -1, which doesn't really make any sense. All right. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to basically just disconnect this, and I'm going to disconnect my tool now. Okay, we'll keep that to the side. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to connect the OBDX Pro GT, and we're going to come over to the computer now. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on Home, and now I have to come up here and I have select Type, Engine Control Module, and now I have to press Identify. All right, so first things first, what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to flick my switch. Okay, I'm just going to show you that if you do not have this 120 ohm resistor, it will not identify the ECU. So identify, and no ECU detected. Please check for a connection or terminating resistor issue. So that's what you would have to do. You would have to check all your connections and then check your terminating resistor. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick this, and now I'm going to press identify again. And now we see that everything is there. Now I already have this ECU read, as I said before. So what this read button does is that it reads everything that is into the ECU. So basically what your EEPROM is holding. If I press right now, nothing will happen because I did not change anything onto this area. I can come in here and I can change the mileage. I can change the VIN. I can change whatever I want. I'm going to prove it to you guys in a second, okay? Since I already have everything hooked up. So what I'm going to do real quick is, first things first, before I start messing around with everything, what we're going to do is that we're going to come in here and we're going to click on flash memory. As you can see, we can only write flash memory. We can't actually read flash memory from this one, but we can read the EEPROM. Now, reading the EEPROM is probably going to be the most important thing that you have to do, especially when you're dealing with this module right here, which is the JPEG 3. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to read it. It reads very, very quick, okay? And we're just going to take and remember that it was a 04, so that's what we're going to put it. This was the one that I just did today. Was that one? No, this one was the one I just did today. So we're going to take and put this as an _2. Okay, and we are going to save it. EEPROM was registered successfully. Now we're going to take and we're going to turn off the ignition. Then we're going to turn on the ignition and we're going to press OK. Now, what's nice is that right now we see that there's a bunch of information here. I'm going to go through this with everybody. So let's just say if you want to renew the module. If you renew the module and you don't read or save the flash memory or read or save the EEPROM, you will not be able to basically bypass the key programming and everything that needs to be done onto a vehicle. Okay, so when we prepare for adaptation, we're basically taking and renewing the module with no information into it whatsoever. All right, so this is if you want really a fresh install, you don't want anything into it, to really take and say that there might have been a corrupt file in the ECU. This would actually come by and fix that. So we got prepare for adaptation, but remember, do these first before you do anything else. So when I click prepare for adaptation, all right, it's going to say file. Now, as you can tell, there's nothing here. Sorry, not that there's nothing here. I'm clicking too much. Okay, so if we see here, we see a bunch of numbers right here. Now, going through all this would take a really, really long time. But if we come over to the OS, operating system, okay, and we actually, this is basically your calibration file. If we take and we right click onto that number, you're going to see that there's a little box that appeared. Now what I can do is that I can come over here, right click again, and all I'm going to do is paste it. Okay, now it automatically found the newest calibration file for me. All right, so basically if I take these last numbers without the AI on this one, okay, and I just remove it, what I'm going to see is that there are two calibration files. AI would be the oldest one, which is the one that's into this one, and then AK is the newest one. All right, so what we're going to do is that we are going to click the AK. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is that we're going to write the new adaptation to this ECU. Now what you're going to see is that all this is actually going to disappear. All right, after the update or the adaptation is done. Why? Because it basically virginized the ECU for you. So we're just going to click write. I'm going to speed through this for everybody. It normally takes about 3.5 minutes, give or take. So you guys can wait here and watch for like 10 seconds while I wait the whole 3 minutes. As you can see, it has now started, and you got a little timer down here, and now it's going through the blocks, and it's writing this file to the ECU. All right, so that took a total time of 3 minutes and 39 seconds. So we're just going to follow what it says. I'm going to power off my power supply. I'm going to power it back on. And I'm going to press OK. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to come over. We're going to click the read. And as you can see, SRI miles is 8. And our VIN is now 0. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to click onto the EEPROM. All right. Now what we're going to do is that we have to write an EEPROM. Now we're going to use the save EEPROM file that we just saved a while ago. Okay. So we're going to click on write. It's going to bring up the file, and we're going to go with the _2 because that's the one that we used. And now what it's going to do is now it's going to go through the process of writing that EEPROM file. Now after that has actually been written to the ECU, you're going to see that all this is going to repopulate. Okay, so we're going to turn off the ignition again because that's what it asked for. Turn it back on, and we're going to press OK. All right, now as you can tell, still nothing. Let's click on the read button, and now we have our mileage and our VIN, and everything is back into this ECU. So right now, if I come here, what do I see? I see 682921001AI. Okay, if I press identify again, this is going to change to AK. And there we go. All right. So now it's going to re-identify everything, and everything is up to date. So that is how you would take and basically clone an ECU if you want. Now, like I said, each time that you take a new ECU, what ends up happening is that it takes one of the tokens that you have, so you have to buy 2 new tokens. But the total cost on Dodge's website, I think it's almost like $180. Where if you use ECU Hero for the ECUs anyway, it costs you $50 to clone an ECU or program an ECU. So for me, the $50 is well worth it. The amount that you guys save with this tool is ridiculous, I find. I've done quite a few Dodge ECUs, and just the price of buying the tool and along with the software and the tokens has saved me a great amount, and it's also saved my clients because I'm actually able to charge them a little bit less than even what some other programmers around would charge them. So now I'm going to show you that we can actually change the VIN in this, and we can also change the mileage. Now what you have to understand with Dodge is that as soon as you change, let's just say the mileage, so all I have to do is just double click here, and what you're going to see is that I can come back and I can change 432. All right, and I can actually come up with the current VIN or original VIN. All right, I can actually change this to be whatever VIN I want to be, and the current VIN I can change it to whatever VIN I want to be. Now what ends up happening with Dodge is that Dodge goes through every single module, and it verifies the VIN and the mileage of multiple modules in order to determine if the VIN is correct for that vehicle. If that VIN is not correct, you're going to get a code for that. So, and it's going to tell you that you need to correct it. The check engine light could come on, and a bunch of other little things. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is that I'm just going to come up and I'm just going to change the last 3 on the current VIN. 685, I'm going to go 789. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that. Okay, the writing was successful, so we're going to turn it off. We're going to turn it back on, and I also changed the mileage. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just press OK. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to unplug ECU Hero. I might not like that, but that's okay. I'm going to plug in my X tool, and we're going to use the X tool again. And we're just going to come up and we are going to auto scan again. And we're going to go in and we're going to reread the VIN now that I changed it. Okay. So as you can see, the VIN now says 789. Okay. We're going to come in. We're going to go see if we can see the mileage. We should be able to see it, but we might not be able to see it. So we're going to go system selection, powertrain control module. We're going to go with reading ECU information. And I can't remember if we actually seen the mileage last time. I don't think so. And we did not. Okay, so we can't see the mileage in this one, but we can change it on the program. And it even gave you the original VIN that was actually into the vehicle. Okay, but we know that that's not the VIN that is in there right now. The ECU part number you see has changed, which is just your calibration number. All right, so that is basically using ECU Hero in order to take and clone an ECU. Now, you have to be aware that you have to be able to communicate with the ECU. Now, if you can't communicate on the car and you say that it's an ECU issue, but you can communicate on bench, you might be dealing with something else. Just try to remember that, all right? Can this tool be used on in-vehicle? Yes, you can actually take this tool, hook it up to the OBD2 port, and you will be able to do this. The reason I like to do this stuff on bench is because I don't want no cross interference between any other modules.
So I just wanted to add a little note into here. If the vehicle has a secure gateway, you will not be able to use the tool like this. But if you take and you bypass the secure gateway, then you will be able to.
I've seen it happen. It hasn't happened to me, but I have seen it happen where you try to program a module using aftermarket tools and interference happens, and then you basically brick a module. What's nice with this tool is that if you partially brick the module but you're still able to communicate with it, well, you can probably go in and save it, but at the same time, maybe not. All right, so I'm going to leave this video like that. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I know I don't say it at the beginning of my videos, but it really does help the channel, and I will be having a 3-part series coming out using 4 J2534 programming, GM J2534 programming, and also Dodge J2534 programming. I'm tired right now. It's 12. It's going on 12 a.m. guys. So stay tuned for that. I do have a couple of diagnostic videos coming up. I want to try to stick more towards the teaching aspect, if you want. I really do enjoy that. I will get some more diagnostic videos out for everybody too, but at the same time, I want to try to go to more towards the teaching aspect. Okay, but with that being said, if you guys do have Dodge ECUs and you guys need them programmed, contact me through my email. If you're in Canada, it's going to be a lot easier, but you guys can ship them to me. I'll give you a PO box address so you guys can ship it to me, and with the new module and the old module, and I will program them for you and then ship them back to you. Okay. Obviously, if it's an ECU that I don't have, I might even do the video for the programming for free if I can make a video out of it for people. All right. But if it's one that I already have, I'm just going to charge you for that. All right. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, I will see you guys next time.